Hello, and welcome to Squishy Vision, where hopefully we're live because I've just installed ATM multi-stream now that I have fast interconnection, and hopefully that will make things a bit more simpler for me. The real test to see if I don't use Restream. Anyway, that's not why you're here. I am very Bradley White right now. That wasn't really the plan. I'm a week late, more or less, kind of. Actually, I'm a few weeks late. I watched the first 3 episodes of Agatha all along last weekend. Gosh, I can't remember. Or was it maybe Monday? I watched it at some point, and then, as I normally do, I fell asleep before I could do a reaction video. And now the the fourth episode has come out, which I haven't seen yet. So here's the plan. And also the last episode, Rings of Power, have come out. So I'm going to react to these 3 episodes. Then I'm going to make breakfast. Whilst I'm making breakfast, I'm going to watch Rings of... God, I'm so white. This pen is like washing out against my skin. I'm going to... against my top. I'm going to watch the last episode of Rings of Power. React to that. And then we're going to watch the fourth episode of Agatha all along. And then we're caught up. That's the plan. That's better. That's less of a V-neck. So yes. So that's what we're gonna. That's the plan. That's what we're gonna do. This is a new shirt I got for LARPing, and it's a shirt that has a hood, which I think is pretty cool, and it also has pockets, but not here. Down here, you can't see them. Anyway, I came into watching. Look, I'm not the usual type who comes into a Marvel property being like, why was this made? Because I actually think one of the better things about the Marvel properties is that they've now earned that kind of... What's the kind of... They've established themselves enough, but basically, people keep getting this. Marvel Studios is an entire studio, and their entire unique thing, so to speak, is that their entire studio where everything they make is set in the same narrative, but they are essentially the same studio. You wouldn't blame Disney for making wildly different genre things within their umbrella. The reason why it's less weird for them is because the different genre things are not in the same narrative, but everything that Marvel does is in the same narrative. But there's no reason why they can't stretch out and do like completely different wild things. So I'm usually like, well, they're doing something different that I'm not really expecting them to do. Cool, good. That's what they should be doing. They should be creating different types of things. And this is the same way that comics create different things in the same narrative that have different kind of genres. But Agatha along, for me, seemed the most cash grabby thing that's come along recently. It was like, this is a character who was a successful antagonist, more or less, in WandaVision, who had a very kind of viral music video attached to them, music song, Agatha along. And then they were like, okay, well, let's make an entire show around her. I'm like, well, did we need this? We have so many other characters existing. Either tell a story for a new character or tell one for one who's been waiting for a long time. Why is this character who's just come along? And then I saw a trailer, and even the trailer, I think out of all Marvel trailers, this trailer was one that kind of gave me the most apprehension. But then I came into the show, and the first episode is a bit weird, because the first episode is essentially WandaVision, but with Agatha. And I think that's kind of acknowledged tongue-in-cheek with the false opening credits, which then goes based on the Danish show WandaVision, or however they write it. And it's basically, Agatha existing in the context of a TV show. But the twist is that they're the only one who thinks that, and everyone around them knows that they're in reality. It's a bit confusing when they get to the reveal at the end, because then you're like, oh, did I miss some hints during the episode where potentially a character was like acting normal? And I think there maybe were some hints where someone was like acting normal, but Agatha was sprung to them as a cop. But I don't think it was consistent. So it's a bit confused. It threw me off a bit there, but that's a me problem, I think. And eventually it's revealed that, Agatha has still been stuck in this mind palace that wanted to put them in for 3 years. which seems to be like a variety of them thinking they're an inhabitant of one of Westview, but then also occasionally thinking they're part of a TV show. It doesn't matter. It's a fun gimmick, and it's there to establish what Agatha has been doing for the last 3 years. And then they're freed. I thought they were freed by the witch that Aubrey Plaza plays, because Rio wants revenge on Agatha but doesn't want to commit revenge while Agatha is obviously trapped, because that's no good sport. So they want to allow them to be free and then kill them. But then it's revealed that actually it wasn't Rio doing that. It was the teen, who I think we all know is Billy, but for some reason we're pretending that we don't know. So it's a bit unclear kind of what like Rio's involvement is during that, whatever. And then Rio, as soon as Agatha's free, Rio's like, okay, time to murder you. And Agatha's like, whoa, hang on. Surely you prefer to murder me when I have power. And apparently Rio agrees, which I guess is fair, honor among witches and all that. So Agatha has that day, she got her power back. So she's seen the team go around and collect a bunch of witches to form a coven. And it's actually fairly entertaining. And it's fair, the following episodes are fairly entertaining in that kind of respect. It hasn't quite embraced the whole horror that I was a bit fearful it would do, purely because of personal taste. The next episode is basically the kind of the collecting of the team. Agatha goes around and basically blackmails a whole bunch of people or like manipulates them or whatever. And I think that's the thing they're establishing, is that Agatha is you're a very typical anti-hero manipulator. But everyone already knows that, but they're like, well, we're going to have to go along with this because I promise it's very much a Faustian deal kind of situation. So the following episode is them getting everyone together. It's implied that Agatha needs to have Rio on a team, but obviously she doesn't want to, and who can blame her? Why would you want someone who's going to murder you on a team? And I don't even know how she would find Rio anyway. So she gets random, and this is actually a fun twist. The trailers imply that the Mrs. Hart character from WandaVision was a witch joining the team, and for me that was very kind of. When I saw the trailer, I was like, wait, so there was another witch trapped in Westview, and this never came up during WandaVision. But actually, it's established that Deborah isn't a witch; she is just a normal civilian that Agatha drags along. And I do like how every one of the witches immediately realizes this is what Agatha is doing, but they're like, whatever, we'll just go along with it. Almost immediately you'll realize that it's not like a big dramatic irony thing that the characters and Agatha know the entire time. It's an open kind of secret, it's an open joke, and I do like it's not insulting the audience in that respect. So I did think that was a fun twist, and then we go into episode 3, and episode 3 is the one where they're all trapped in the house and they have to individually face like some degree of their own fears while also being poisoned. And then have to like find the antidote. So we find a few hints of everyone's kind of. Well, we see some people's backstory. Well, we see the 3 witches' backstory. We find out that I can't remember the names now, but the potion person, there was someone that they knew who. We don't really get much more history. I think they did. I mean, there's clearly some bad blood between them and another person. We get some more kind of hints towards the Blood Witch. The Blood Witch's mother trauma. And then we get the twist that Agatha sold her only born child to someone to get her powers. And we, I think, finally, for the first time in the MCU, get a reference to Mephisto. I'm surprised this wasn't spoiled for me because the first 2 episodes came out like 3 weeks ago, and then the third one came out last week, and then 4th one yesterday or whatever. So I'm surprised I guess because I watched the episode shortly after episode 3, so I was lucky. I think if I left it longer, but I'm surprised I've not seen anything in the succeeding week. Sorry, Lily, I've just hit a cat on my pen. I'm surprised I haven't seen anything in the succeeding week regarding the Mephisto reveal, because I think that's the first time Mephisto has been revealed. I'll just quickly Google it now. Actually, Mephisto MCU. Is this the first time? apparently Mephisto was mentioned in Avengers. Really? When did that happen? Who's Triple Kale? Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, okay. Apparently Mephisto was mentioned in the Avengers because they were inside a dossier. How did I not know that was a thing? Um, I guess that was an Easter egg thrown in there. Um, Interesting. Okay, so I've heard Mephisto has been mentioned in the MCU first, all the way back in the Avengers, and for some reason I didn't know that. That seems like something pretty obvious that I would have heard of. I don't know. I feel like I've been gaslit somewhere, or like a demon has changed the past. But anyway, this is, I think, the first time the name Mephisto has been verbally mentioned by someone in the MCU after the entirety of the Mephisto speculation during WandaVision. And this has to be a in joke of some sort. Like, they have to be like, okay, we'll finally throw the Mephisto. Does this mean Mephisto's coming finally, like on screen? I mean, apparently, reading the article, they were thinking about making Mephisto one of the villains in Deadpool and Wolverine. So clearly, we're getting close to that introduction of Mephisto. Um, and I guess we assume Mephisto is existent because we know Ghost Rider is existent. So that was a quick 10-minute reaction to the first few episodes that I watched ages ago, and now I spent a week sleeping and probably forgotten a lot of the details of. But so far, I'm enjoying it more than I thought I would. I think it's definitely self-aware enough to kind of get more of my goodwill back into it. It does scream shot on a studio, but it's fine. I don't think there's anything particularly visually spectacular about it. It is a bit like dark Wizard of Oz, but like the 1930s Wizard of Oz was also on the studio as well, so that could maybe be a deliberate part of the aesthetic. Um, this I think is the first MCU property re-released in the Marvel Television after the old Marvel Television stopped being a thing, and there was a Marvel Studios, and now they're trying to bring the Marvel Television label back for some reason. And I have to say, I hate the ident, the vanity cards from Marvel Television. It just sounds very ugly. Maybe I'll get stuff into it, but at the moment I don't like it. Anyway, I'm going to go make breakfast and hopefully find time to react to and watch and react to the fan episodes of Rings of Power. I might have time to just like, I might have time to just about watch it and then react to it when I get back home because I'm gonna go to a protest. So I'm gonna go off and do that. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you later on today, I think. Goodbye.